Welcome back to another episode of You'll Be Fine podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me. He is a creative in the art and technology industry, and his name is Merm.
Hey.
So, hey Merm.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I wanted to have Merm on the podcast for a while because I just think he has such a unique perspective of the industry that he works in, and I really think it'd be super cool to hear his experience. So I kind of just want to ask Merm, give us a little background of you. So name, age, and where you're from.
My name is Merm Harden. I'm 33 years old. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Word. Okay, so what was it like growing up in Queens, kind of? Like, what was a general day for you as like a kid?
General day for a kid, my father actually, he would take me to school. So I remember him vividly taking me to school, and then I would definitely play Suicide. It was a game called Suicide where we throw the handball off the side of the off the side of the building. Then we try to catch it. And then if you catch it, you actually get to hit somebody like with the ball. You get to tag them. I don't know. It was a crazy, silly game, but
Okay.
I remember that vividly for some reason. Yeah.
Interesting. So how old are you when you're throwing these at each other?
From as young as like probably 6 years old.
When you were around that age, like 6 to 7, like what did you kind of want to be when you grew up?
I actually always knew I wanted to be in the NBA for some reason.
Really? Okay.
I didn't think necessarily to be an athlete, but I knew that I could get in some other kind of way. So I just figured the NBA, I wanted to be in the NBA, yeah.
Okay. So how do you think that your kind of childhood and like your upbringing has influenced where you are today in your career? Because like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's in the NBA.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. I
So-
definitely didn't make it to the league, but I made it to another major league for sure. But I think being as a kid, wanting to go into the NBA, into that field, but then also knowing that my father, he was someone that worked really hard, extremely hard. He had a lot of different jobs. Like, he didn't just do one thing. Like, I remember one time he actually worked at like a Krispy Kreme donut.
Okay.
Like, he was doing delivery for that. I remember one time he actually was like selling scrapyard like metal. Like, he would like pick up metal like around the neighborhood and like sell it
Really?
for scrapyard. Like,
Okay.
he would do a lot of different
Hustler.
things. So he was a
He was a
hustler.
hustler
Like, he
for
was
sure.
just trying to like get money. So I feel like I took a lot of that from him to where I didn't just stick to just do one thing. Like, I always knew that I could just switch up and do anything I put my mind to.
Okay, so that kind of leads into where you are today. If you want to talk a little bit about that, like what is your current role that you're doing right now? And for those of you who don't know, I mean, I know, but like, let me know.
Yeah, right now I work at Mercer Labs, as you can tell by the sweater I got on right now. I'm Chief of Staff of Mercer Labs. I just try to make sure that I bring the team together for the most part. Just try to make sure I support the artist Roy Narcombe as much as I can. I definitely try to dedicate a lot to what I do to making sure that he's good and he know how to manages his day, and just the day-to-day things like that.
Cool. So would you say he's somebody that you kind of look up to in the world of like art and in the realm of
for
technology?
sure.
Right.
When I seen a lot of his art pieces in person, like the paintings that he do, especially the series called Portraits, that's actually in Mercer Labs. I actually found out it took him like 1 year to complete each piece. And each person on the canvas is either blind or visually impaired. So like to see him actually do the details, to paint that, like a lot of people think there's photographs. So it's like, to see that in person is like something
I've seen
amazing.
a picture of it. They literally look like somebody just actually took a picture like that and blew it up.
Yeah, so it's like he's definitely one of my favorite artists. I think he's one of the greatest artists of all time.
That's really incredible. So I imagine that's like wild to work for somebody like that.
Well, yeah,
Like-
it's really a dream come true, you know. Because a lot of people, you know, they would love to like work for somebody that they actually look up to and they actually respect. So it's like to actually get that opportunity and to be in that and be in those shoes, you know, it's like literally a dream come true. So I never take it for granted. I try to make sure I work as hard as I can every single day to make sure I fulfill those tasks, like whatever they may be, you know. So I don't even just pigeonhole myself to just one role. Like I said, my father was a hustler. He did whatever he could. So anything needed at the time, like I'm gonna just try to make sure I do it to the best of my ability.
Well, you're definitely like following in your father's footsteps with doing a little bit of everything. Because I see you out here. He was just with Alicia Keys for her,
definitely.
what was it, the after party?
Yeah, the after party for the Tony Awards after party for Hell's Kitchen, the Broadway show that she just put on for on Broadway. So that was really amazing. That was cool.
That's like so insane.
Yeah.
So like aside from the people you get to like work with and surround yourself with on a day to day, who are like some of your biggest inspirations, would you say?
I think one of my biggest inspirations is probably like an artist by the name of Virgil Abloh. He kind of broke open the doors for even people like Roy Nakun, to where he doesn't just have to be a painter. He can be like a fashion designer or industrial designer, or even open his own museum or do his own jewelry. Like he can pretty much do anything he wants. So I feel like people like that kind of broke open the mold was like my biggest influences.
That's actually so cool. That's definitely real, because I feel like for the longest, it feels like we are supposed to stay in like one general like genre or fit some type of narrative, but I feel like art is about expression, and that doesn't have to be limited to one thing, like you said. Prior, you had mentioned that you wanted to touch on this a little bit. So as a Black artist, what is some advice you would give to other Black artists looking to join the art industry?
I would definitely tell them to be more open-minded. Don't even just try to categorize themselves as a Black artist. Like, just be open to it. It's open-ended. Like, I wouldn't even look at race as a particular object or even a topic to touch on. I would just feel like for them as an artist, let their art do more of the talking for them. Like, don't even really showcase themselves or try to prove themselves to try to prove who they are. Let the art do the work, and I think that's ultimately like where they see the success at. So I feel like, and also don't be too afraid to just network and connect with different people. And not everyone. It's the reason why people where you're from kind of didn't make it. So you need to kind of branch out and step out and try to figure out who are the right people to connect with and network with, and you'll figure it out from there. What's coming on, even with Nina Chanel, she's a dope Black artist that's coming out right now. So she been out. She just had a Jordan shoe to just drop for her as well.
Cool.
So that was pretty dope. I actually was on the Summer High Line, like by the Standard High Line. Like I was walking across the bridge and actually seeing some of her artwork up there as well. So I was like, shout out to her. That's actually really dope. So I think we're right where we need to be. So I wouldn't really complain, or I feel like just keep going, just stay positive. We'll make it. Yeah. Just be smart.
Yeah, definitely. I really wanted to get your take on that, because I feel like it's really important for people out there to hear, and it can be really helpful.
Yeah.
I was just also wanted to ask, like, do you ever have days where you feel like you're in like a creative rut, or like you feel like it's kind of taking a little bit longer to get in the mode? Like when you have days like that, how do you kind of get out of it and like get yourself back into the vibe?
Well, we definitely have plenty of days like that, but sometimes I feel like you might want to step outside the studio, or sometimes maybe the studio might not even be organized. Maybe you need to organize the studio, get things right, actually clean up around yourself, or just try to have a clear mind, or whatever that may be. If you have negative thoughts, try to just meditate, try to pray, try to definitely have more positive thoughts. And I feel like if you go through those practices and you do this every day, and you just build that confidence within yourself, as if like you're the only one that can do what you do. So as long as you stick with that confidence, I feel like you'll be able to get out of any creative rut that you might actually get into.
Wow, it really is kind of like mainly about confidence. I feel like is the biggest thing when like getting through any type of project or anything really in life. Okay, I like that perspective. And I kind of want to know, like, what's the first experience you had that made you realize you wanted to step into this industry?
So I actually got into this opportunity through Twitter.
Really?
So one of my friends, his name was Mark, he got me into NFTs. So once he put me onto NFTs, I found this one particular NFT. Shout out to my guy, Coin Billy from Invisible Friends. He was the one that put me onto the Mega Moon project. And anything that he touched turned to gold. So I was like, all right, I'm going to trust him. So then once I seen who the artist was Roy Nakun, I just did more research on him. I seen that he was also the artist that did Rihanna's last album cover for Anti. I seen he did like a LeBron James sculpture in his backyard. Like I even seen like Jay-Z had artwork in his office. I was like, whoa, like this guy's pretty big. So, from there, I just pretty much keep following up with them on Twitter every day. Like I would even just check to see like, hey, do you need help with your Discord, or do you need help with your NFT project? Like I would love to help you. I would give them some ideas. And then one day I was like, I think you should do like a signed Oculus giveaway, because, one of their projects looked like it was like in a VR version. So then one day they did a signed Oculus giveaway, and I actually won the giveaway. So I was like really surprised about that. So I was like, what? This is crazy. So like, yeah, so I actually received the signed Oculus giveaway. Then once after that, I was like, no, I gotta find out how to meet this man in person and actually tell him thank you. Like, and that's all I ever even wanted to do.
You
was to show
actually
him.
got the Oculus?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Like they sent it, so they actually DM'd me, and then they got my address, and I was like, no way, this is even real. And then they actually sent it to my house, and once I received it, I was like, nah, this is like the sickest gift. I've actually, like, once I've opened it, of course, that day, I've actually never even used it before. Like, I still keep it in the box. Like, that's like something like I'll cherish forever, because that was kind of like a moment in my life that now looking back kind of like changed my life forever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a symbolism to just keep being persistent and just going hard. Like, you never know what anything can lead to. And even that was just a gift, but it's like, anyway, so he had a exhibition coming up called Portrait. So that's actually ironic, because that's actually what I was speaking about earlier, one of my favorite series. So then when I actually went to Portraits, like, and this is just random because I just randomly seen it on Instagram, and then like I was probably like an hour late to even the show. So then the first person I seen was Roy. So I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like, wow. I just want to tell you thank you. Like, I really appreciate you. Like, I forever love you, and just thank you. I feel like you kind of changed my life with that. So, you know, of course, he introduced me to his wife, and then I was just like forever grateful for that. And then I remember Maya, his wife, actually sent me a after party invite. She was like, yo, you want to come to the after party? I was like, sure. So she sent me the airdrop me the invite. I was like, yo, this is sick. So I like brought one of my friends, and then let's say the party was over, maybe like probably like 12, 1, 2, or whatever the case may be. I stayed a little later, just help clean up, try to show initiative, just to try to show them like I'm serious, like I mean business, like I really want to work with you. Like, you know, it's cool to party and have fun, but I came, I have a vision, I have a goal, I have one thing in mind. Like, I want to really make it to the top, and I really want to be successful. So from there, you know, we exchanged numbers, and then one thing led to another. I went to Minnesota, and I randomly seen him in Minnesota. So that's how we kind of got connected again. And then he was like, yo, just come to my studio the next week. So then the next week, came to the studio and never left his side. It was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Shit. That is so crazy, like how fate is. Like, how do you win a giveaway and then you end up meeting him and then you end up turning it into a career? Like, that's like, I feel like running with an opportunity, you know?
Yeah, and I started off as the NFT advisor. And then he was like, hey, I just want to build a museum. So I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, let's do it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, you know, like, I'm not really scared to chase my dream. So I was like, if this is what you want to do and I want to support you in anything you want to do, let's make it happen. So then I went from an NFT advisor to a project manager, executive assistant, and now chief of staff at Mercer Labs.
That is insane. Like, wow. So do you ever like sit there and like reflect on that, and you're just like, shit?
Well, at this point, I don't really have time to, because the work starts coming in. It's like it starts like an avalanche. Like, it really starts to snowball effect. So I don't really have time to think about it now. But I know when it's all said and done, I'm definitely going to be able to look back at it and really like admire for like, you know, what it really was.
Definitely. I was going to say, you're definitely a busy guy right now. It's been hard to schedule this with both of our schedules. But that is like really sick, and I want to like hear more about your like insight on Mercer Labs.
So right now I'm chief of staff, so I pretty much just try to convey the messaging between like, you know, C-level executives versus like the staff. So I just try to make sure that the team is together, just try to make sure everyone's on the same page, that we all know what we're doing, and then just make sure everything's running smooth. I feel like I have like one of the easiest jobs in my job. So
really,
I love to do what I do. So it really doesn't feel that hard sometimes, you know. So
So what does like a day in the life of like Merm at work look like?
Oh man, so anything from Zoom calls or on-site meetings, off-site meetings, or you might even meet your favorite celebrity, just coming to the museum one day and give them a tour, or it varies. Like, I really never know what could happen in one of my days. Like, every day is different.
I feel like that's kind of the best way to live though. Like, you never know what could happen. I feel like that just makes it more like motivating.
Yeah, that's why I love what I do.
Right.
Yeah, it's really fun.
What would you say are like some of the highlights or like the wow moments that you've had where you're like, what the hell? Like,
definitely the Alicia Keys moment. I feel like that was really surreal. Like, just even being in the same room with her. Like, I feel like she's so like just royalty in a space. So I feel like to even be in the same room with her is like really amazing. So that was one of my highlights.
So what was it like curating one of the most like well-known museums of art and technology in Manhattan right now?
It was definitely challenging. I think that from start to finish, even redesigning it maybe like 30 different times. So I feel like you
Really?
just try to find that sweet spot and try to find that moment to where you can actually bring that hope, that joy, that wonder to this world. That's the ultimate messaging, even equality. So you want to make sure that the art is really representation of who we are as people, who we are as humans. So I feel like
Right.
that's really important. So to get that fine details really meant everything to us. So I feel like that was something like the most challenges. And of course, construction, if you know, trying to build like a 35,000 square foot space of 15
Yeah.
rooms, across three floors.
And you were
Like,
there for like the whole process
yeah,
with a hard hat on and all.
so to
Like,
have some of like the sickest installations to date, like 15 of them, like you can only imagine what it would take. So,
no.
yeah.
How long do you think it took? Like, I feel like forever. I feel like you guys were
It
working on
felt
it
like
for a while.
forever. It definitely felt like a decade, but it was about a year. It took about a
Really?
year and a month, year and 2 months or so. Yeah.
Oh, it looks insane. If you haven't been, go visit Mercer Labs, 21 Day Street.
21 Day Street, yeah, right downtown.
There you go. Right by Oculus?
Right across the street from the Oculus, yeah, and One World Trade Center.
Did you ever think you'd be like creating art installations? Like, did you think that this would be something that you were gonna do?
Well, I feel like I had to always just try to figure it out on my own because, like, I feel like life kind of took me in different directions, different paths. But I feel like definitely being able to alternate and switch to any kind of industry and just try to figure it out. I feel like that's like true testament to my character, just always trying to figure things out and just learning to fly. Like I'm always absorbing and soaking in information, so that's really important to me, just to learn from my peers and people around me.
So what has the Mercer Labs journey meant to you?
It's meant everything. I feel like I sacrificed like a lot of my life to even make sure that this could happen. I really cared about the project. I care about the artist, of course. Like that's like my brother at this point. Like that's family for real. So definitely care a lot. So it's like I consider it one of my babies too. So it really means
That's
it means
amazing.
everything to me.
So what would you say is like the most rewarding thing? Just seeing it all come together?
Just to see everybody else enjoy it. Like just to see everybody else have their fun and just to watch the little kids just be in awe or amazement, or just have my niece Aria come there and she's able to not only enjoy and play and have fun, but she's also able to understand it on an intellectual level to where she's knowing organizations or like operations type of things to where like, oh well, hey uncle, well the sound room, the light isn't right, or well this sound is a little too low, or I think this should be, so her just being inquisitive and just understanding what's right and what's wrong and just having that understanding, like that really means a lot to me as well.
That's so cool.
That's really dope. Yeah.
That is dope. It's like educational for the kids.
Exactly.
I feel like it has such like a broad age range that can enjoy it. Like I've gone there so many times with like so many different people and everybody's just like, yo, this is crazy. This is so cool. So that's like I definitely see why that's like a most rewarding factor for you. Like everybody definitely enjoys it. So that must be like really cool to just, just be able to look back at it and be like, wow, like we did that.
Of course. Yeah.
So kind of in closing, like what is next from Merm, do you think? What can you see for yourself as an individual going on into?
Well, I definitely think that I want to continue building Mercer Labs to be one of the best museums in the world to ever exist. We're definitely not here for just 1 year, 2 years as a pop-up. We're going to be here forever, and how I feel. So, I just want to continue establishing that, and eventually we start expanding and going to other countries or other cities and just try to figure things out there, So I want to stay focused with Mercer Labs because I feel like we got something good going on. It's been less than a year for us even in existence. So, I'm really in no rush to even think about past that right now.
Yeah,
like
just kind of enjoy the ride.
Tunnel vision, enjoy it. And be in the present, I feel like a lot of times we're always looking at the future or where we want to go, but we're not really enjoying the moment where we are presently. So I feel like at this point in my life, I want to really focus and enjoy where I'm at present and just have fun, like just live life.
That's beautiful.
And live once,
Yeah, that's really like such a good, like solid perspective to be at. I want to close it with one crazy question.
Yeah, anything. Ask away.
So with the perspective that you have now, after all of the experiences that you've had and everything that you've gained, all the resources, what would you say to your kid version of yourself right now? Like in terms of being successful in life?
Never give up. Never give up, because as many trials and tribulations that you've been through, you see that where you are today and you see where you could be even 5, 10, 20 years from now. So just never give up, stay focused and have fun. Just enjoy the moment, stay in the present moment.
Period.
Yeah, you're gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, Merm, I think that your kid self would be like, you are super cool and awesome. So that is really fucking awesome. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Make sure to follow him on his social medias.
Labels Don't Fit Me on Instagram.
I'll put up
Mercer Labs on Instagram as well. So make sure you follow us.
Follow him on there. You know where to find my socials, will be in the description. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so glad I got to have Merm on here. I think he is amazing, talented, multi-talented person that you're going to see a lot more of. So I feel lucky to have him on my podcast. But thank you, Merm, for coming on again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks. Cut.